everyone, welcome to this updated video. I really hope that you're doing fantastic. Now we're going to be talking about what is happening across the Atlantic, and there we can see that front, and we're seeing those white dots which indicate lightning strikes. So for the most part, a lot of the associated thunderstorms are offshore of anywhere but just to the west of Bermuda. So Bermuda may experience an increase in rainfall, maybe some thunderstorm activity today as the system sweeps by. Now, as for the Caribbean, the front extends into the region and is likely to result in a rainfall increase across portions of Central America. Let's zoom in here. So we're not seeing anything too crazy on the infrared satellites. We're clearly seeing those clouds, yes. And also there is a surface trough in the vicinity of the Lesser Antilles. So we're seeing these clouds moving in, and it is an area of low pressure. Troughs are areas of low pressure where that air rises, it cools, condenses to form clouds. So that's essentially what is happening there. And we're seeing this kind of activity right now, all these cloud clusters moving by. So through much of the Lesser Antilles today, there could be some intermittent showers for some areas. There could be more than in others. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rainfall forecast, and here we're seeing it. We're seeing those colorful shadings, those reds, those burgundies, even some pinks popping up as well. So areas such as maybe some spots in southern Mexico, even Belize, the Keys, the Bay Islands of Honduras, northern Honduras, and some spots in Guatemala may experience some periods of heavy rain today. So it is certainly possible, since there's an increase in moisture within the area with that front. And then further down into parts of southeastern Nicaragua, also for some spots in Costa Rica and Panama, there could be some showers as well. Maybe not as much for the offshore islands of San Andres and Providencia. Looking towards the Cayman Islands, parts of Cuba, Jamaica, near Hispaniola, there could be some showers, maybe not very widespread across everywhere, but things could be a little bit on the drier side for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands as well, even down toward the ABC Islands. Now, seeing where it's pretty colorful there. And then, as I said, through much of the Lesser Antilles, because of that trough and these clouds moving through, it is likely that there's going to be rainfall today for some areas. It could be heavier than others, and with a lot of heavy rain piling up very quickly, that can actually result in some flash flooding. So hopefully that won't be the case, but it's certainly possible. As we head down toward Trinidad and Tobago, though, too much is not expected. We're not seeing that it's too colorful there, but there could be some passing showers. South America, for parts of Colombia and even some spots in the Guyanas, especially over in French Guiana, we're seeing that it's pretty colorful. So there may be some decent rainfall at the maximum. Throughout the Caribbean, there could be rainfall amounts over 3 inches, particularly within Central America, since there's an increase in rainfall activity due to the front. Toward the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, though, a lot of the activity is likely to remain offshore, but there could be some showers moving by. With that, there is going to be an increase in those winds behind the frontal boundary. So we're looking at the forecast for later today. Here we're seeing it. We're seeing these shades of blues and these purples as well. So winds are going to be kicking up in the Northwest Caribbean and also in the vicinity of parts of the Gulf and even for Florida as well. So especially for the Keys, it's maybe pretty windy today. Same story as we head over into the Bahamas. Much of the Bahamas going towards the Turks and Caicos Islands. Winds are going to be kicking up as the front passes those northerly winds or northwesterly winds for the Bahamas. As we look toward Jamaica, going towards Hispaniola, even over in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, we're seeing that it's not too colorful. So things are going to be a little bit on the calmer side in terms of the wind speeds as we head throughout today. And we know that recently it's been very, very windy across the Caribbean. So this is sort of a little break. But for the Lesser Antilles, there could be those winds up to around 15 knots or so as we head through today. Maybe a little bit windy as well for the ABC Islands and over in San Andres and Providencia. Now, that cooler air mass also following in the wake of the front. This is the forecast for this morning when I'm actually recording this video, and here we are seeing that there are these blue shadings across parts of the Gulf of Mexico, the southern US, and even the northern Bahamas. So what is that? Well, cooler air induced by the frontal system. So this is a temperature anomaly map, which is basically showing how much the temperature is expected to vary from what is typical, and the blue shadings represent below average temperatures. Meanwhile, the yellows, oranges, reds indicate above average temperatures. As we head into tomorrow, the second to final day of the month, here we're seeing that All of this cool air is expected to extend further into the Caribbean. So much of the greater Antilles, Hispaniola, especially over in Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, also the Cayman Islands, much of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, over in parts of Central America, Mexico, going towards Belize, Nicaragua, Honduras, and even for Guatemala as well. There could be that dip in temperatures. Temperatures could be a couple degrees Celsius cooler than what is typical within those areas at this time of year. And then as we head further out into the week, this is all the way to Friday, we're seeing some of these blue shadings still around, and the whites indicate that temperatures are pretty much normal. So some of this cool air is likely to loiter across portions of the Northern Caribbean, the Bahamas, and Turks and Caicos Islands as we head throughout the week. So that is what is going on, guys, as it relates to the conditions being induced because of the front that is passing by. But now we want to go ahead and talk about the Saharan dust. So we're taking a look at this dry air map. So there is a lot of dry air around, as we can see, which is marked by those shades of yellows, oranges, and those reds and pinks as well. Now some of this dry air is in association with the Saharan air layer, especially closer to the coast of Africa. And some of the Saharan dust is actually making its way into parts of northern South America, northeastern South America, as well as the eastern Caribbean, the Lesser Antilles, as I speak. This is as we're going to be heading into tomorrow, and where we see those areas of those darker browns, that is where there's a higher concentration of that dust in the atmosphere. So some of that expected to be affecting parts of northeastern South America, the Guyanas, and even over into parts of the Caribbean, much of the Lesser Antilles. But some of that denser layer may move in to parts of the Windward Islands, Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, the Grenadines, St. Vincent, even for Barbados as well. So you can let me know in the comments what is currently happening for you. And this is really just the beginning of the Saharan dust. So there are going to be more plumes moving by, especially as we head into the next couple of months, as summer is going to be beginning. And it usually peaks around July. So we'll see what happens then. But I'll be keeping you guys posted on all that is happening across the region. As it relates to earthquake activity, there hasn't been anything very significant across the Caribbean over the past couple of days, which is some great news. Yes, there are a couple of minor earthquakes, but that's pretty much typical. But that is it for right now, guys. And I will be keeping you posted on all that is happening as necessary. And I really hope that you found this video to be quite informative. However, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will respond to you once I get the chance to do so, and remember to always be weatherwise.